How many times have you left the barbershop disappointed with your haircut, thinking it was your barber's fault? But what if you could avoid it altogether? I'll tell you how. I have divided this video into two main parts to help you get there. In the first part, I'll cover 6 important tips you can share with your barber, which work for almost any haircut, whether you have short or long hair. Then, I'll apply these tips practically by going through a step-by-step example using a hairstyle in the second part, so you will know exactly what to say to your barber each time you go. First, it is very important to be clear. Barbers need to know exactly what you want, and the more details you give, the better. Start by talking about the length. Vague phrases like a trim or just a little off the top can mean different things to different people. To avoid any confusion, it is best to say exactly how much you want to cut. You can use measurements to make it clear, like saying take an inch off the top or cut the sides down by half an inch. If possible, give your barber specific measurements or use terms like finger length or clipper guard number. The clearer you are, the easier it is for your barbers to understand. Bring reference photos if you can. Photos give your barber a clear visual of the look you want, making it easier for them to understand and replicate it. I recommend you bring photos that show the hairstyle from multiple angles, such as a front, side, and back view. This will give your barber a comprehensive view of the style and help them match it as closely as possible. You can find images online of the style you're looking for. The neckline is another important detail that can really impact your look. There are 3 main types: blonde, rounded, and tapered. Each one gives a different finish to the haircut. A blonde neckline is straight and squared, giving a sharp, clean look. It is a good choice if you have a longer neck or want a polished finish. A rounded neckline follows the natural shape of your neck, creating a softer look without sharp lines. A tapered neckline gradually fades out, giving a natural finish that grows out more evenly, so you can go longer between haircuts. When talking to your barber, let them know what you prefer. You can say, I would like a blonde neckline for a sharper look, or let's go with a tapered neckline so it grows out naturally. Another thing to keep in mind is texture. It can make a big difference in how your hair looks and feels. Adding texture involves trimming or thinning parts of the hair for more movement and dimension. It is really great for thick or wavy hair because it reduces bulk and makes it easier to style. For straight hair, texture adds a bit of life, so it doesn't look too flat. If you want texture, let your barber know. You can say, I would like a bit of texture on top to add more movement, or add some texture to make it easier to style without too much volume. This helps the barber give you the look you want. Also, talk about the arches. Arches are the areas around your ears, and how these are cut can change the shape of your whole haircut. Sharp, well-defined arches give a cleaner, more polished look, while softer arches create a relaxed, natural look. Some people like high arches cut above the ear, making the sides look neater. Others prefer low arches that follow the natural curve of the ear. Let your barber know exactly how you would like the arches shaped to get the look you want. For a sharp, clean look, you can say, I would like high, well-defined arches. If you prefer a softer look, say, I want lower, more natural arches that follow my ear shape. Finally, don't forget to talk about your sideburns. Sideburns are often overlooked, but they're actually a very important detail. You can adjust the length and thickness of your sideburns to match your face shape or personal style better. If you like them shorter, ask your barber to cut them to the middle of your ear or higher. You can leave them longer for a fuller look, maybe down to bottom of your ear, or even longer if you're into a more retro style. Also, talk about the shape of the sideburns. Some people prefer them squared off, while others like a more tapered finish that gradually blends into the rest of the hair. Let your barber know what length and shape you prefer. You can say, let's keep the sideburns just above the middle of my ear squared off, or I want them longer around the bottom of my ear with a soft taper. Now let's see how you can apply these tips to a specific haircut. Let's say side part. Suppose you're starting with short hair. You need to grow out your hair. To get the perfect side part style, plan to visit your barber every 3 to 4 weeks. This timing gives your hair enough time to grow while letting them shape it gradually. But getting the perfect side part haircut is not as simple as just asking for it. You will want to make sure you have clearly communicated with your barber so they understand exactly what you're aiming for. On your first visit, the goal is to start shaping the hair while letting it grow. Begin by telling your barber, I want to start growing my hair for a side part style. I would like to keep the length on top, but have it neatened. You can ask to keep as much length as possible on top, but you can request a light trim to give it some shape and avoid an awkward growing out phase. For the sides, say, I want the sides and back cleaned up, but keep them longer than usual, maybe around a number 3 or 4 guard, so they'll blend well when the top grows out. This will help your hair look well kept even as it grows longer. During this stage, let your barber know that you will be back to continue working towards a side part look, so they will understand it is an ongoing process. By the second visit, your hair should have a bit more length on top, and now is the time to start creating a foundation for the side part style. Tell your barber, I'm still aiming for a side part, and now I would like more definition on the top. Mention the length you're comfortable with, saying something like, I would like to keep at least 3 inches on top. 3 to 4 inches is usually ideal for a side part because it is long enough to sweep over, but not so long that it becomes hard to manage. At this stage, you want the sides to be shorter than the top, but still with enough length to blend naturally. You can ask for a light taper around the ears and neckline, using a guard length between 2 and 3 to create a nice gradual fade. Tell your barber, I want the sides tapered but not too short so I can still style it. Be clear about keeping the look professional and neat, as this is the foundation for the side part style. By the third visit, you should have enough length on top to style it fully into a side part. This is the session where you can refine the cut and make any adjustments now that you are nearly at the ideal length. Tell your barber, I'm going for the full side part style today. I want a clean cut that emphasizes the parting on one side. At this point, mention exactly where you want the part line, or let your barber decide based on what suits your face shape best. For the top, say, I want the hair on top long enough to sweep over, with at least 4 inches. You can also ask for some sub-layering on top. You can say, can you add some texture so it is easier to style and doesn't lay flat? This adds volume and gives the style a natural look. As for the sides and back, go for a neat taper, specifying the length you want based on what is grown out. You can say, keep the taper on the sides, but blend it so it flows nicely to the top. The goal is to have the sides and top blend seamlessly, keeping the focus on the part line and the sweep of the top. Now you have a perfect side part hairstyle with the right communication with your barber. Why don't just focus on growing your hair? Building an aesthetic V-shaped body is equally important. Watch this video if you want to build a V-shaped body in under 6 months.